Alright guys, it's been a very interesting 24 hours for Call of Duty, especially when it comes to Black Ops 4. The game's not even been revealed yet, and there's stuff coming out left, right, and center. If you have absolutely no idea what's happened, then be sure to check out my previous video uploaded yesterday, but we're talking today about a little bit of an update on yesterday's information that Black Ops 4 does not have a single player campaign, but it does have a Battle Royale mode. This all started yesterday when Polygon reported that Black Ops 4 does not have a single player campaign, and since then CharlieINTEL has backed it up with their own sources and then went ahead and also broke the news that a Battle Royale mode is going to be within the game. Now, at first I was a little skeptical because it's Polygon that broke the news, but if CharlieINTEL also said the same thing, and they've been very accurate literally the last 5 years or so, I will obviously believe something that CharlieINTEL say. Kotaku also posted an article and used their own sources to back up the claims that indeed there is no campaign and there is a Battle Royale mode. This all went down last night, and today Eurogamer have posted an article with a little bit more information on details which we didn't know about yesterday. Just like in February, where websites like Eurogamer, Kotaku, CharlieINTEL, Polygon all reported about the game being Black Ops 4 and having their own sources, it all seemed to be correct. So it seems all these websites seem to have very similar sources of information. Eurogamer goes ahead and says that this matches the info that Eurogamer received about the development of Black Ops 4 back in February. They said that back then their sources indicated Treyarch scrapped the game's campaign in the early part of 2018 to focus on multiplayer. This is new news which we didn't know about. There wasn't a time frame given on when exactly Treyarch ditched the idea of working on the campaign, but apparently they scrapped it very early into 2018. So this could have been a decision made literally like a month or two ago. It seems really bizarre to me that Treyarch have spent so long working on a campaign that suddenly they decide to scrap it, but at the end of the day, it's not up to them on what sticks and what doesn't. It's of course up to the publisher Activision. And the interesting thing is we didn't have any details on what the campaign was going to be about, but Eurogamer have a little bit of info. They said one source close to the project told them that Black Ops 4's campaign was originally called a career and featured co-op missions with another player. Video game development is a tricky business, of course, and plans often change. It's unclear whether these co-op style missions have made the cut as a potential stand-in for the ditched single player. Now, I don't really want to make any assumptions on what exactly is going on at Treyarch because none of us are game developers. We don't know how these games are made, how much time and effort's been put into, and what exactly goes on. But when you consider just how many incredible stories that Treyarch have created in the Call of Duty series, it really baffles me that they are not going to have some sort of story within it. And that's why, even though everyone is saying that there isn't going to be a single player campaign, I still feel there has to be at least something in there that is going to take its place that has some sort of story. Treyarch are literally at the highest caliber when it comes to creating story-driven content for Call of Duty, and even if it's not a single-player campaign as what we're used to, it just doesn't add up in my mind that there isn't going to be at least something, which is why I feel like this Eurogamer article might hold some weight to it, saying as the plans were originally for a campaign called Career, which featured co-op missions with another player, whilst they aren't single player campaign missions per se. They have mentioned, and there's been countless articles which all have broken this news, saying that there's a heavy emphasis on there being co-op modes. And I really think it'd be a shame if there was absolutely nothing in this game that involves a story, because it's not really a Black Ops game if there isn't any story behind it. You can't just call the game Black Ops 4 and it have absolutely nothing to do with any Black Ops game in the series. It just doesn't make sense. But some are saying that the Battle Royale mode developed by fellow Activision-owned studio Raven Software is going to be the mode which is going to fill in for the single-player mode. And as sad as it is, all it comes down to in the end is where people are putting the most time and money into the game, and the campaigns are just something which don't ever get any love once they've been completed. A good example and a great way to explain this is just looking at how Call of Duty's yearly life cycle is. You get get the game and then you buy the season pass and you get more content for multiplayer and zombies. You don't get anything for campaign. And campaign is this thing which takes hundreds and possibly thousands of man hours from a whole team to build together to create a really cool single player campaign story that once completed, it's never touched again. There's so much time and effort in textures, assets, cutscenes, models, everything that's put into that mode, which they never use again. When you look into statistics as well, that financially the campaign doesn't really get any sort of love. I mean, if Call of Duty were to add in, additional single player missions or a small bonus mini campaign of sorts, like perhaps how GTA does its story DLC in games like GTA 4 and Red Dead, for example, that's where they could very easily monetize the campaign. But the way that the gaming space is going, it just doesn't seem like that is going to be something which fits in with Call of Duty's future trajectory. Instead, the future is looking at multiplayer and how they can enhance that. Now, interestingly, with the idea of Battle Royale mode, Eurogamer sources have backed up the report about the inclusion of a Battle Royale mode, and we've gotten some additional info which no one else has had before. Adding context, their source said that COD's Battle Royale mode may not hit the magic 100 player mark seen in other Battle Royale games at the time Black Ops 4 comes out, but developers are working towards that number. Again, it's worth pointing out video game development is a tricky business and plans often change. Now, this is a interesting discussion point in itself. Battle Royale games as it stands has always existed being with 100 players. A game like Call of Duty can only last with a max of 18 players before the engine hits its limits as well as the servers hitting their limits. For this to work, Battle Royale needs to be on a completely different Call of Duty engine, which means that Black Ops 4 might be on an entirely new engine than what we've seen before. And if you don't already know, Call of Duty has been on the exact same engine since Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and each year it's just been heavily modified. So this is a massive step. Black Ops 4 has not only just been a brand new game for them to develop, but a new engine has potentially been created as well, or is probably still in the works for the game to actually handle this many people. Going slightly off topic and going back to there not being a single player, you got to remember also Black Ops 3 had a lot more additional modes than just the normal traditional 3 modes. We had Free Run, which was really fun, and I actually played quite a bit of it when the game first came out, and if they added DLC maps for it, I probably would also play that quite a bit. Had Dead Ops Arcade 2, they also had Nightmares, which was pretty much a reskin of the main campaign, but that's not to say that Treyarch can't do something very similar with Black Ops 4 minus the actual single player campaign. Looking at this in conclusion and summary, now that we have had about 24 hours or so to really simmer this news up that there isn't a single player campaign, while some of you are still skeptical when there are 5 different gaming news outlets all reporting the same thing backed up by their own different sources, to me at this point, if you don't believe in this, then you are a little bit naive and a little bit silly. But if the entire campaign team have been taken off and have been put instead on developing the other modes, that means more people working on zombies, which means there's going to be way more content within zombies. And you know what that means? It just means better zombies all around. This is only a good thing to the majority of you guys and me watching that care about zombies the most when it comes to buying new Call of Duty games. Sure, we care a little bit and are intrigued a little bit in, delving into single player, delving into multiplayer, but we're all here in the long haul for zombies. And most of us buy the game itself just for zombies. I don't know exact numbers, but I'm pretty sure before, when it comes to the zombies team specifically at Treyarch, there's maybe about 40 to 70 people working on zombies, but there's hundreds working on campaign. So you blend that together and you've got a perfect mix of having like 3 or 4 times the amount of people able to produce zombies content, meaning there'll be a lot more. What if they're not just working on more people on the survival aspect, but working on more game modes to make this an additional cooperative offering than just the standard zombies. We've been wanting grief and turn to return back to zombies since Black Ops 3 came out, and they felt like really beta modes within Black Ops 2. They could be very much more fleshed out within Black Ops 4, but you could see a lot more game modes and, in a sense, party modes. You can play zombies in completely different ways and experience the maps in several different ways, rather than just through the campaign story aspect that we have currently within Treyarch Zombies. If you also take in consideration over time how much multiplayer has evolved and changed over the years to finally adopt a competitive mode within that, imagine if Zombies was to also get the same treatment. There's been several YouTubers, including myself, who have said over the years how incredible it would be if there was a competitive scene for zombies. It sounds absurd and it sounds stupid, but if Treyarch are the ones that invented zombies, then they're the ones that can truly invent a innovative branch off of zombies while still continuing the main zombies itself. Looking at Zombie World Championship, for example, could you imagine an official Call of Duty Championships which involves some sort of competitive edge when it comes to zombies? It would be really freaking cool. And that's just simple brainstorming ideas. We're already very confident that we're going to be getting a continuation of the storyline that concluded within Black Ops 3 Zombies, and the fact that we're getting new Treyarch Zombies in like 6 months from now should be enough to get us incredibly excited on its own. I just feel like there's such negativity right now when it comes to Black Ops 4, and we've not even seen any of it yet. I'm the sort of person that won't really judge something until I've actually seen it for myself. Regardless, I'm getting Black Ops 4, and I'm sure most of you guys watching are, but it's definitely a controversial thing that's happening right now with regards to Black Ops 4. I'm going to conclude the video here, guys, but I want you to tell me your ideas and thoughts on this all down below in the comment section. It's been so interesting reading all the thoughts and opinions on this, and I'll be grateful to see what you guys say in this video when it comes to the additional info we've had regarding the idea of what the campaign was supposed to be according to Eurogamer, as well as how Battle Royale might not hit the 100 player mark. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you didn't, let me know why below, and make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on for the latest Black Ops 4 information. But thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time.